Hello, welcome to Rao's Corner. Today we are focusing on the tips for the teachers whenever you face an interview. Today I am focusing on the teachers. Next we'll be going for the other professions as well. So first of all, whenever you apply for a job, the first and foremost important thing is your curriculum vitae, or we can call it as your resume. That gives a clear-cut idea about what you are, what you did, what are your qualifications, what is your experience, and in addition to that, it will give a perfect idea what you are and what you can do. So therefore, CV and resume play a very, very important role. Apart from that, when you face an interview, the first thing they observe is your personal qualities, your appearance, how do you look, how do you talk. So therefore, these aspects also play a very, very important role. How you enter the room and what are your physical dexterities and what is your body language. These things play a very, very important role. So a principal or a job hirer are experts. They know very well how do you feel and what is your competency level and what are your abilities. When they look at you, they can come to a conclusion, what you are. So therefore, these things count very well, because you are now applying, suppose you are applying for a post of a teachership. The first thing is how personally you are involved with the teachers and your involvement with the parents and your involvement with the management, and how much you support the principal. So all these things will be reflected, the way you present, the way you talk. However, we are focusing here on a few points. Just note down before you go for the interview and make yourself abreast of the things that are being mentioned in this video. Let us start. The first and foremost important thing is how much passion you have towards teaching, and when you convey your passion for teaching the students, the administrators or the principal will try to get a very clear-cut idea about, are they selecting the right person? Are you the perfect person? Are you the right person to be selected? So this will be known only when you explain to them how much passionate you are in teaching, how much connected you are with the teachers, with the students, and how much connected you are with the objectives and goals of that particular institution. So all these things will be reflected, and all these things, suppose you perform well in this particular aspect of explaining your passionation for the teaching, that means you have just crossed one part of the interview. The second aspect is how much research you have done before appearing for the interview of that particular school. How much research you have made. There are different type of schools. A few schools have the traditional mode of teaching. A few schools have modern method of teaching. Means the teaching process is different, but some are completely connected with the inculcation of human values. Some are completely modern. Therefore, your research of that particular institution plays a very important role. So therefore, understanding the philosophy of the particular institution, what are the goals, what are the objectives, what are the means by which they want to teach their children, all these aspects you should make a note of that. And that you can get it through the prospectus or any other document pertaining to that particular institution online. So, or you may gather the information, because all this homework you have to do before appearing for the interview, either to some source, to some people who are already involved with that institution, or through online also. So therefore, the second aspect is understanding the school where you are going to appear for the interview. The third aspect is about discussing about the professional development. So how much experience you have acquired by participating in various professional training programs, whether conducted by in-house or outside the school programs? How much you were involved and what did you learn from those professional training sources or programs, seminars, workshops? So these things also play a very, very important role, because the person who is going to hire you would like to know whether you are interested for this kind of seminars and workshops for your future also. So education is a continuous process, because learning is continuous. So how far you want to enrich yourself by participating in this kind of seminars also play very important role. Therefore, when you go for an interview, you must highlight yourself, how many seminars you attended, what did you achieve by that, and how much you have acquired the new knowledge, and how did you put all this training, the things that learned you have from this training programs you have put into practice, either for the students or for the overall growth of the institution. These things play a very, very important role. So therefore, this is also very important. There is the general practice by most of the teachers who attend an interview to focusing on themselves more, because they want to prove a point that how much expert you are and how much you can deliver the goods. That is also improper. That is incorrect. You have to focus on the student rather than you. What you did for the students. How did you achieve the targets for the students? In what way you have used the nurturing of creativity for the kids in different various. The next point is engaging in conversation. So since somebody is going to hire you, they want to know how positive you are while dealing with the students, how friendly you are with the students. So therefore, because they expect you that once you are selected, you will be doing something for their students and something for the educational institution. Therefore, your positivity will play a very, very important role. How positive you are, how optimistic you are. So you have to keep smiling throughout the interview. Sometimes ambiguous questions may be answered in order to test you. So even if you don't know the answers, just keep smiling and give them a polite reply that you don't know or you want to learn about it. So rather than cutting a sorry figure, so your reflection, the facial expression will reflect how strong you are and how confident you are. So therefore, engage in conversation. Suppose you don't know something, just honestly you say that you don't know, and you rather say that you want to learn something about it. So rather than bluffing. So keep yourself engaged, be positive, keep smiling, keep cheerful. You should not give an impression that you are carried away by the question that was asked by them. This is also very, very important. Engage yourself in telling them about the stories, about the challenges and successes that you have achieved with the students. Because an institution who is planning to hire you will definitely would like to know how much you are engaged with the students, because it is the students whom you are going to teach. Therefore, you have to give them the instances where you did something for the kids. You may give examples of certain instances, certain incidents that have taken place, how you could bring about a change and transformation in particular child or in children as a whole. So all these things also play a very, very important role. So whatever successes you have achieved in terms of dealing with the students, in terms of dealing with any kind of objective that have been set for you, is very, very important. Be ready to discuss your teaching philosophy. Every school has got its teaching philosophy, and they may ask you, what is your philosophy of education? Then you have to be prepared. What is your philosophy? Maybe, are you going to have a student-oriented approach, or are you interested in project-based learning, or you have a skill-based learning for the students? So you have to prepare your teaching philosophy, and whatever teaching philosophy you have, you must align with the philosophy of that particular school. How you are going to match to the teaching philosophy or to the objectives of the school, and what you are going to deliver in the school should have confirmation and matching. So therefore, your teaching philosophy plays a very important role that you can prepare before you go for the interview and just spell it out during the interview. Create a good rapport with the interviewers. So show the interviewers that you are engaged and interested what they have to say by using conversation to build a good rapport. What is their objective? How you are going to match? And be humorous. You can keep them in conversation, you can keep them engaged in the conversation just by smiling, by your attitude, by your positive attitude, and see that they respond to you. And suppose you have any queries or any questions, in between you can get a feedback from them also. So therefore, this connectivity between you and the interviews is very, very important. So this aspect also plays a very, very important role during the interviews. The next important aspect is prepare a portfolio of your past teaching achievement and experience. You have to prepare a portfolio wherein what you have taught, how you are connected with the institution, what are your achievements, and all these things need to be made in a very creative and in a very sensible way, which will be attractive to the interviewers. So some of the things are like this: your lesson plans, samples of your lesson plans, how creative you were and how these lesson plans were implemented inside the campus. Then a copy of your resume, that's very important. Already you must have submitted, you should have 5 to 6 copies of the same with you. Then degrees that you have received, and next one is about certificates that you have received, and certificates regarding seminars, regarding workshop that you have participated, and the acclaims that you have received. Suppose you have got any of the achievements or you achieved some rewards, those things also play a very, very important role. So, and the sample syllabus of how you are going to teach for a particular class is also very, very important. So all these things should need to be prepared, and you should have a separate file for that, and that you must carry it along with the other documents that they have asked you before you appear for the interview. So this is very important. Most of the interviewers generally, they ask you to describe about yourself as a person, as an individual. So I would rather suggest you to give an information about what you did for the students, how you started your professional career and how you were abreast of the institutional objectives and what you did for the students, rather than focusing and telling about yourself. That you tell in a very brief way, then you relate your past experience, what you did. So this will definitely augur well for your success in the interview. So that may include about the stories of instances, what you did in the school, how much you are engaged with the students, how you have participated, and how much you are involved with the institution will rather be more important than describe you as a person, I am such and such, I did like this, I behave. All those things are already reflected in the CV. They would like to know how you have been doing all these days in that particular institution, how you engaged yourself in the institution, and how far you have been successful in making that institution successful with your efforts. So that's very, very important. Sometimes they ask about the parents' behavior and what is the role of the parents in that particular school. Never speak anything against the parents because this is going to be a negative point for you. You always discuss that you are very close to them, and you see how you dealt with certain parents, not criticizing them. So how you have made efforts to bring the management and the parents very into close proximity, and how they were involved in the success of the institution, how you made them engaged in the institution. So, for example, sometimes parents come and criticize about the teaching. You can tell them that you have involved certain parents to participate themselves in the teaching process to the students, and how they have felt. And so all these, examples will definitely augur well. And the next one is about extracurricular activities. How much you are involved in this success, in the success of extracurricular activities. What was your involvement in games and sports, and how you have participated in literary and cultural activities, in seminars, in extempores, in debates, and how you brought laurels for the institution through your efforts, and how you groomed and how you trained the kids to participate in all these activities. That also is a very, very important aspect. And definitely that will score a very good point. So therefore, extracurricular activities, how you help out and how you help them in conducting the programs, what was the involvement in the program. So these aspects also are very, very important that you must make a note of it. Give plenty of examples whenever you're discussing with them. So these examples will definitely hold good in the success of your interview. So how you were involved with the students, and how you were a contributing member for that particular institution, because the institution would like to know how far you will be engaged with them. And you can tell them, you see, how much efforts you did for that institution, how much time you spent for them, because these things are also very, very important. And another aspect is about so that you are tech savvy, because now we are in the modern age, we are in the 21st century, we are using gadgets, we are using all kind of electronic things inside the classroom, like e-learning and all these things. You know the example of COVID, what has happened during COVID times. So you must also you must focus on this, and you must highlight yourself how you did during that particular period. What was your contribution? What are the things that you know in the tech savvy thing? How you can engage, how you can utilize those hardware or software that are present in the institution. In case, suppose they ask you, so can you please suggest some more new things that can be implemented? Just you can give. Suppose you just present themselves about what are your ideas and how much expert you are in dealing with this instrument, whether it is a hardware or a software. So this will augur well for the success of your interview. So these are the things that in general are very, very important. But very important aspect that you should remember is be friendly with them. Don't reflect your negative traits to them. So they may ask you what are your positive points and negative points. You highlight more on positive. Just say a few things, because they very well know, whenever they look at you, they will come out to know what you are. So be friendly with them. Just keep smiling. Your posture of sitting and how free you are, how expressive you are, all these things also count a very lot. And these things, suppose you can utilize the things that I have mentioned here, and you can present yourself with all these points that I have mentioned, I'm sure you will be successful. So first important aspect is your curriculum vitae, your resume. So that's very important, how you prepare that. And the language, the creativity of that CV and resume also plays a very important role. So I wish you all the best. Please go through the video and please comment on this, like, share and subscribe. Thank you very much. Best wishes.